It began quietly. A missed interview here, a skipped appearance there. At first, no one thought much of it. Caitriona Balfe, the beloved star of Outlander, had always been private about her personal life. But then the silence grew longer. Weeks passed without new photos, no updates on her social media, no sightings at the usual events. And soon, whispers began to spread. Something was wrong. For years, Caitriona had been known for her elegance and strength, the calm in the center of the storm that fame often brings. She juggled her work, her family, her activism, and still managed to appear effortlessly composed. But behind that poise, close friends say she had been pushing herself to the limit for too long. According to one insider, the first signs came months ago. She started feeling unwell during filming, the source said softly. But she didn't want anyone to worry. She kept saying, "I'm fine, just tired." That's Caitriona. She never wants to be the reason someone else feels stressed. At first, she brushed it off as exhaustion, the kind that comes from working 16-hour days on set, traveling across continents, and constantly being in the public eye. But the fatigue didn't fade. It deepened. Soon, friends noticed she was skipping press days, pulling back from social commitments, and spending more time at home. The public noticed too. When Caitriona failed to attend a major industry event she'd been scheduled for, fans flooded social media with concern. "Where's Caitriona?" trended worldwide within hours. Her representatives issued a short statement citing personal reasons, but offered no further detail. That's when the rumors started, and among those who were most shaken by the news was her longtime co-star and friend, Sam Heughan. To Sam, Caitriona wasn't just a colleague. She was family. For more than a decade, they built their careers side by side, weathering fame, gossip, and relentless public scrutiny together. The thought of something happening to her hit him harder than anyone could imagine. When asked about Caitriona's absence during a recent interview, Sam's expression changed instantly. His usual bright energy dimmed. He paused for several seconds before replying quietly, "She's taking time for herself right now. I think that's all that really matters." Those who know Sam well said that behind that calm answer was genuine worry. "He's been deeply affected," a close friend revealed. "They've shared so much over the years, the ups, the downs, the late nights on set. Seeing her go through this has really shaken him." Reports soon surfaced that Sam had cancelled several non-essential appearances and returned to Scotland sooner than expected. Paparazzi spotted him leaving a clinic in Edinburgh, not for himself, but believed to be visiting Caitriona, who was reportedly receiving private treatment nearby. He didn't speak to the press that day. He didn't need to. The sadness on his face said everything. Meanwhile, fans began piecing together small clues. In one emotional post, Sam shared a photo of a misty Highland sunrise with the caption, "Some days remind you how fragile everything is." The comments section filled instantly with messages of love and concern for both him and Caitriona. Neither of them addressed the growing storm directly. But silence, in this case, spoke louder than any official statement. Those close to them say Sam had been Caitriona's quiet support, checking in regularly, sending messages, offering to handle media obligations in her absence. "He's protective of her," one insider said. "Always has been. He's the kind of friend who shows up when no one's watching." As news outlets began reporting that Caitriona's health had declined, fans across the world were stunned. The idea of their strong, radiant heroine struggling with illness felt unthinkable. But in Hollywood, where smiles are sometimes armor, the truth often hides behind silence. By the end of the week, Caitriona's team released a brief update confirming she was resting and focusing on recovery. It was the reassurance everyone had hoped for, yet the tone hinted that her journey to wellness wouldn't be an easy one. For Sam, that update brought both relief and heartbreak. Relief that she was receiving care. Heartbreak that someone he admired so deeply was suffering. Those who saw him on set described him as distant, quieter than usual, often lost in thought. During one break, he reportedly said softly, "It's strange how life reminds you what really matters." No cameras captured the look in his eyes, that mixture of sadness, fear, and gratitude. But those who did see it said it was something they would never forget. Because when someone you've shared your career, your laughter, and your soul with begins to fade from your world, you realize that fame means nothing. Only the people you love do. And for Sam Heughan, that truth had never felt more real. The world watched and waited. Days turned into weeks, and every headline carried the same quiet dread: fans concerned for Caitriona Balfe. But behind those headlines, away from cameras and microphones, one man carried the weight of that worry more than anyone: Sam Heughan. He had always been strong, the kind of strength that others leaned on. But now, it was his turn to feel helpless. Those close to him said he spent most of his time in Edinburgh, keeping in touch with Caitriona's family and checking in with her team for updates. He rarely spoke publicly during those weeks. His social media went silent, except for a few cryptic posts about gratitude, time, and resilience. One night, he posted a single line: "The world feels quieter when someone you care for isn't well." Fans knew instantly who he was talking about. Thousands of messages poured in: prayers, well wishes, and stories of how Outlander had helped them through hard times. It was as if the love that Sam and Caitriona had given through their work was finally being returned to them tenfold. Behind the scenes, Sam did what he always did best: he showed up, quietly and without announcement. Friends said he would visit Caitriona whenever possible, sitting with her between treatments, bringing books, tea, and that comforting calmness she always said made him impossible to stay anxious around. He didn't try to fix anything, a close friend revealed. He just sat there and made sure she didn't have to face it alone. It wasn't the grand gestures that mattered. It was the small, human ones: the text messages late at night checking in, the way he made sure her favorite flowers were waiting at her door, the quiet reassurance that she was not forgotten. As weeks passed, word began to spread that Caitriona was slowly improving. Though she remained out of the public eye, a close friend confirmed she had started walking again, regaining her strength little by little. "She's a fighter," the friend said. "She's always been." But what truly lifted her spirits was the love that surrounded her, especially from Sam. The fandom responded with an outpouring of compassion. Fans launched hashtags like #WestEndWithCaitriona and #StayStrongCaitriona, creating a digital wall of support that stretched across continents. Tributes, artwork, and heartfelt letters flooded her fan pages. For once, the Outlander community wasn't divided by gossip or speculation. It was united by love. Sam finally broke his silence publicly a few weeks later. Appearing at a small charity event in Glasgow, he was asked about his friend. He paused for a long time before answering. "She's one of the strongest people I've ever known," he said softly. "I think sometimes the hardest battles are the ones no one sees. But I know her, and I know she'll get through this." There was a tremor in his voice when he added, "She's my family, always will be." It was the first time he had spoken those words in public, and they hit like a quiet thunder. The room fell silent. There was no need for elaboration. The sincerity in his eyes said everything. A few days later, Caitriona's representatives released a hopeful update: Caitriona is recovering well and deeply moved by the love and support she's received. She asks for privacy as she focuses on her health and healing. The message brought relief to millions, and to one man most of all. Sam shared the statement on his Instagram story with a single emoji: red heart. It was small, simple, and perfect. Sources close to the pair said he later called her, just to say how proud he was. "You've been everyone's strength for so long," he told her. "Now let them be yours." She reportedly laughed softly and replied, "You always know what to say, Sam." That exchange, more than any public post, showed what their bond truly was: not a romance, not a publicity partnership, but a friendship forged through years of trust, loyalty, and shared storms. When Caitriona finally appeared again, a short video thanking fans for their love, she looked thinner, paler, but radiant in her calm strength. "I'm healing," she said, smiling. "And I'm grateful for my family, my friends, and for those who never gave up on me." She didn't mention Sam by name, but everyone knew. He was in every word, every breath of that gratitude. The world exhaled with relief. And for Sam, watching her speak again was all he needed. As one insider put it, he looked like a man who could finally breathe. Later, during an interview promoting his own project, a reporter asked Sam what this period had taught him. He looked thoughtful for a moment before replying, "That life's too short for pride or distance. If you love someone, as a friend, as a human being, tell them. Be there, don't wait for the silence." He smiled faintly, that familiar warmth returning at last. "She's doing better now," he added. "That's all that matters." And just like that, the story shifted, from fear to hope, from heartbreak to healing. Caitriona Balfe's health had faltered, but her spirit hadn't. And through it all, Sam Heughan stood by her side, not as a co-star, not as a hero, but as the kind of friend who reminds the world that real strength doesn't come from fame or power, it comes from love.